For most people, money feels like a constant chase. You work, you earn, you spend, and then you repeat it all over again. But there comes a point when that cycle begins to slow down, not because you are earning millions, but because something deeper shifts in your mindset. That point often begins around $20,000. At first, it might seem like just another number, but here's what most people do not realize. $20,000 is not about luxury or success. It is about freedom. It is the first time you can breathe without checking your balance before every expense. It is when rent, bills, or groceries stop feeling like threats and start feeling like manageable responsibilities. Think of it as a turning point between survival and stability. Before this stage, every financial decision carries emotional weight, stress, worry, maybe even fear. But once you cross this threshold, your perspective begins to expand. You start to think about how money can work for you, instead of you constantly working for it. It is not just a financial milestone, it is a mental one. You begin to value time differently. You question where your energy goes, and you realize that money, when handled with intention, can create options. And options are the real form of wealth. So no, you do not need to hit $1 million to feel financially secure. You just need enough to stop playing defense and start playing offense. And for many, that game begins right here, at $20,000. When we talk about money, most people immediately picture six figures, big houses, or fancy cars. Society has taught us that wealth starts there, but that mindset keeps people trapped. Here's what most people do not realize. The feeling of financial peace is not tied to a specific income bracket. It starts the moment your money gives you options. $20,000 might not sound life-changing, but it represents control. It allows you to make choices from a place of confidence rather than desperation. It means you can take a risk on a better job, buy yourself time to rest, or handle an unexpected repair without spiraling into debt. That kind of control is worth far more than the image of wealth we have been sold. Now, there is something important to watch out for. Many people hit this stage and instantly start upgrading their lifestyle. A new phone, a new car, maybe more expensive dinners. It feels good, but it quietly kills your progress. The goal is not to spend more, but to buy more time, more freedom, and more opportunity. If you hold on to that mindset, $20,000 becomes the start of your growth curve, not the end. And this is where things start to change. Because now your money has power, not because it is a lot, but because you are finally the one in control of it. Now, let us talk about the quiet force that turns small amounts into real wealth: compound interest. If you have heard the term before, you probably know it means your money earns more money over time. But here's what most people do not realize. Compound interest does not just grow your savings, it reshapes your entire relationship with time. Imagine you have $20,000 invested, and it earns a modest 7% per year. In the first year, that is about $1,400, not life-changing. But the next year, you are earning interest on $21,400, then the next on $22,800, and so on. Give it enough time, and that snowball effect starts moving faster than you can work. Now here's something important to watch out for: impatience. In the early years, compound interest feels invisible. It moves slowly, like a seed underground. But eventually, that growth curve bends sharply upward. And when that happens, your wealth begins to multiply while you sleep. The earlier you plant that seed, the more time it has to grow. This is the moment when $20,000 stops being a number and becomes a tool. You are not just saving anymore, you are building momentum. And once momentum takes over, you realize that wealth is not about working harder. It is about letting time and discipline do the heavy lifting for you. Financial freedom is not one giant leap. It is a staircase. And every milestone you climb changes how you see money. The first $5,000 feels impossible. The next $10,000 takes discipline. But after $20,000, something shifts. You begin to see patterns, the way your habits, your choices, and your patience all connect to results. Here's what most people do not realize. Financial progress is rarely linear. It is exponential. The more you build, the faster it grows. When you cross a milestone, you gain more than numbers. You gain wisdom. You start to recognize which decisions push you forward and which ones pull you back. You learn that every dollar is a worker in your personal economy, and how you assign it determines your future. Now, there's something important to watch out for: comfort. Once things feel stable, it is easy to stop growing. But comfort is the quiet killer of progress. Instead of slowing down, this is the time to plan your next step. Whether that means investing, learning a new skill, or finding ways to generate passive income. Because freedom is not just about having money. It is about continuously expanding what you can do with it. Each milestone is a signal. It tells you that your system works. And if you keep repeating it, freedom stops being a dream and becomes a predictable outcome. Something interesting happens once you reach the 20,000 mark. Time starts to feel different. Before, it felt like you were pushing a boulder uphill. Every dollar saved took effort, sacrifice, and patience. But once your investments start earning returns, that boulder begins to roll on its own. Here's what most people do not realize. Wealth acceleration is not magic. It is math combined with discipline. The same 5% return that once gave you a few $100s now generates much more. The compounding loop shortens the time between milestones. What took you a year to save before might now take 6 months. That acceleration feels like the world is finally working with you, not against you. Now, there's something important to watch out for: greed. When growth speeds up, the temptation to take unnecessary risks grows with it. Many investors fall into the trap of chasing quick wins, forgetting that sustainable wealth is built on time, not luck. Stick with the habits that got you here. The 20,000 mark is a mirror. It reflects how well you manage yourself, not just your money. Because the truth is, the difference between those who keep growing and those who fall back is not knowledge, it is consistency. Stay the course, and what once felt slow will soon feel unstoppable. You do not need to be a financial expert or have a background in economics to grow your money. What you need is a simple system that works, one built on patience, automation, and discipline. Here's what most people do not realize: consistency beats brilliance. Even small, regular investments can outperform big one-time bets. If you are starting with $20,000, begin by setting clear goals. Are you saving for freedom? For a house? For early retirement? Your strategy should fit your lifestyle, not the other way around. Start with something steady, like index funds or ETFs. They might not look exciting, but over time, they quietly outperform most flashy investments. Automate your contributions so you are not relying on motivation. And whenever your income grows, increase your investments instead of your spending. Now, there's something important to watch out for: information overload. The internet is full of people promising shortcuts to wealth. Most of them lead to stress, not success. Keep it simple. Focus on what you can control and trust the process. The best investors are not the smartest. They are the most consistent. Every paycheck, every reinvested dividend, every avoided impulse purchase adds up. Your money is not just sitting there. It is quietly building the foundation for your future. When you think about wealth, it is easy to imagine luxury, but true wealth is about stability, confidence, and freedom. Reaching $20,000 does not mean you are rich. It means you are in control. You have built a foundation that can grow without depending on luck or circumstance. Here's what most people do not realize. Every big success story you hear started with small, consistent steps like this. The 20,000 mark is not the finish line. It is the proof that you are capable. From here, the game changes. You begin thinking in decades, not paychecks. You focus on systems, not single wins. You start valuing peace over possessions. Now, there's something important to watch out for: complacency. Financial freedom is not about one milestone. It is about staying intentional, staying curious, and continuing to grow. Every decision from here on out compounds, just like your money. And if this journey resonates with you, share it with someone who needs that spark. Because most people never realize how close they are to stability until someone shows them what is possible. Subscribe for more lessons on building real wealth, one simple step at a time. You have made it this far, which already says a lot about how you think. Most people scroll past anything that challenges their habits, but you stayed, and that means something. It means you are ready to take control of your financial story instead of letting it control you. Here's what most people do not realize. Financial freedom is not built from giant leaps. It is built from small, deliberate steps repeated over and over. Whether you are just starting to save, already investing, or somewhere in between, what matters most is momentum. Do not wait for the perfect plan or the right time. Both are illusions. Start now, even if it feels small. The earlier you begin, the sooner time starts working for you instead of against you. Now, there's something important to watch out for: distraction. Every day, you are surrounded by noise, new investment trends, flashy success stories, and endless comparisons. Ignore them. Focus on your lane. Your $20,000 milestone is not a finish line. It is a foundation. From here, your job is to protect it, grow it, and let it multiply quietly while you keep living your life. So here's what I want you to do. Take one action today that your future self will thank you for. Open that investment account. Automate that savings transfer. Revisit your budget with purpose. And if you found value in this message, share it with someone who might need that same push. Because the truth is, the moment you stop treating money like an enemy and start seeing it as a tool, everything begins to change. Keep learning, keep building. And remember, wealth is not about having more. It is about needing less and using what you have wisely. I will see you in the next one.